Hey folks, fWhip here, and welcome to my hardcore Minecraft world. Since the release of Minecraft 1.21, I built a new village for cartographers to help me locate trial chambers, and then spent time expanding the capital city of Path with a new harbor district and a castle to guard the mountain pass. But to help myself stay motivated, I like to jump around to different projects, so today we're taking a bit of a break from the city to build at a different city. In the desert, I have started the city of New Papyrus, where currently we have the Blue Axolotl Bazaar and a giant library for glass trading. Today, however, we are linking those together with the first city block. So please be sure to click that like button to support my channel, and be sure to subscribe if you're new. We're super close to 1.7 million subscribers, so I really appreciate your help in reaching that new milestone. We are starting today by traveling far to the west side of this world to reach the deserts of New Papyrus. It's finally time to break ground on the city, but first we need to break ground in the harbor, so I set up some shulkers and built a conduit underwater. And since sandstone is insta-mined without a beacon, I was able to tear out a large chunk of blocks just to make the harbor a little deeper. We still have some more work to do clearing out this space over here, but unfortunately we're reaching the end of the conduit range, so I want to set up another one. And I'm thinking this spot right here should do the trick. There we go, fully activated. Now I'm not planning to fully texture everything, but I did want to at least come back through, and I guess we need to waterlog these, but we gotta extend all of our stone fences coming down. Did I say stone? These are definitely spruce. That is definitely wood. I take a few days off for my birthday, and I apparently forgot everything about Minecraft. I was thinking we cover the entire base with like dirt, moving into mud, and then add a bunch of rocks down here, so we'll get rid of this entire mess later. But for now, at least it is pretty dark now that it's a lot deeper. And now, just to reacquaint my brain with Minecraft a little bit more, I think I'm just gonna spend a bit of time digging to clear this out. Okay, that is looking pretty good now for the depth. I just need to change all of this out for our mud and dirt, and well, I don't want to do that. Not right now. Definitely not right now. As the goal for today was to, build part of the city to connect these two buildings together, and that sounds a lot more fun than playing around underwater. Before we get into building the city block, I want to add another reason to come to the city of New Papyrus. And I thought a massive sugarcane farm could be perfect. I do already have a sugarcane farm back at home, but it only has 64 plants growing, and I'm constantly running out. So today, I want to build one with 256 sugarcane plants to hopefully create a constant stream of sugarcane coming into storage, right underneath the new city block we're building, hidden safely underground. Now, I had meant to do this before I started digging the thing out, but at least we can get it now. I want to turn the villager breeder back on, since I want to turn New Papyrus into a bit of a villager trading hall to continue along with the library idea. I was also 18 blocks shy on the pit for the sugarcane farm I need to build, so I thought I was falling really far there. But I expanded this out a good chunk more. It at least means I have tons of sand and sandstone to work with for actually building the farm back up. But for now, I need to run back home to get a ton of materials. Quickly on that villager trading idea of turning the city into something, I know we have the villager trading hall back at home in the Dwarven village, but that is in spawn chunks, and I'm scared to add more villagers there, seeing as it could cause a lot of lag. So as more reasons to come back over to New Papyrus, I thought it could work out to throw more villagers there, as one, they won't be loaded all the time. They'll only be loaded if we're actually in there, and two, gives more reasons to head out to the desert. I'm winging it on the sugarcane farm design, and I need to test something before I throw all the materials together. Can sugarcane be placed on mud? Yes, it can. Oh boy, yes, that's gonna be great. Now, the reason why this is huge is mud blocks are actually slightly smaller hitbox wise than a full block. So if you drop sugarcane on top of that, you'll see that it actually gets picked up by the hopper. For testing's sake, you can see we have the dirt here, and this, if I can throw it on top, does not get picked up. Moving on to the materials for the sugarcane farm itself. As mentioned, I want 256 sugarcane, which means I need 256 observers, 256 pistons, redstone dust, and hoppers to just set up the basics for this new farm. Now let's see if I have any sugarcane over here that can at least help to get the farm started. I do feel kind of bad taking from the old farm, but I don't feel so bad anymore. Yep, not even enough to build the new farm. We can build this farm up layer by layer, and I want to leave space over that way to expand it later if I find a need for more sugarcane. For now, we are just going to start with some hopper chains going all the way down. From here, we need to grab some of the sandstone, as I need 4 stacks of sandstone stairs in order to hold some water along the edge. And then we are going to need a ton of cut sandstone for later. The way this farm's going to work is we're going to have the mud here, and the sugarcane's going to sit on that like we talked about. Then over on the sides, we need to waterlog all of these stairs. These ones at the end, I'm actually going to turn them in, and that should create a water source. Perfect. Now, if our sugarcane sitting down here, we don't want to be breaking that, so we actually are going to be raising this up along the back and building some pistons on top. It's a pretty simple design for the farm, but basically we just do this. What we're looking at here is the observer is waiting for our sugarcane to grow all the way up like that, and you can see it's going to fire everything. Observer activates the dust behind. Dust powers the block that it's on top of, which then is right next to the piston, which powers that guy, and bam. Then down here, the best part is all of that comes through our mud and gets caught down here inside of the hoppers. This is one of those farms that has a ton of simple elements to it, and to make it faster, you literally just need to increase the size of the farm, as on Java, there is no way to speed up the growth of sugarcane. So instead, I could just build these massive tubes that I ended up topping with our pearlescent frog lights and some glass, as I think the light is actually needed to make the plants grow. With the first one done and working, I moved on to building the second module of our new sugarcane farm. Now, part of me really wants to add in a third section already, and I think I actually have space for 4, but I'm gonna hold off for now. Yeah, I'm walking away now. I'm walking away. We're not doing that right now. I do want to turn one of the buildings into a storage room for sugarcane, so we'll also fix the double chests of storage later. Thankfully, most of the materials I need today, I've actually been gathering passively over the last few episodes. First though, I need to make a trip back here into the mesa to gather up some terracotta. Come on. There really had to be a cave right where I dug in. Since it is in the floor underneath where I was mining the regular terracotta, I also want to use some brown, so we can actually just grab that right here. And I think a stack should be plenty. Back over to the east, I started sorting through my storage rooms to pull out everything I need. First up, all of the sandstone variants, as that's probably going to make up a lot of the space that we're using to build today. Sandstone, however, is an interesting one to texture with. I personally like to use birch and oak strip logs and planks to help add a little bit more grime and age into the walls. So next I jumped into lumber storage and, as expected, crafted down all of the different materials that I need. Unfortunately, I am completely out of jungle logs, and I need a lot more than the 47 stripped ones in my inventory. So we need to take a quick trip out here to this tiny little jungle biome, as I've got to chop down quite a few of these trees. I grabbed a few mushrooms from the mushroom farm as well, and now I need some hay bales. As we can jump over to the dirt storage building, and I need a lot of packed mud and a lot. Okay, we got a lot of mud. That's good. Grab some slabs, and I think I'm gonna need a few of these. I'm hoping that'll do the trick. That's gonna do for most of the brown tones we're gonna use, and then I had an idea that I actually would like to use some tuff. And please tell me I have a decent amount extra. I want to try and create a sort of travertine brick that's gonna alternate between these two. I'm worried it's gonna look really busy up close, but hopefully from a distance, it gives a really cool feel. Well, that's all the tuff, and I grabbed some granite, diorite, a little end stone we'll try out, and some bricks we can work in too. Now, hopefully back in the house here, I still have random shulker boxes full of quartz. Yes, we do. Current fWhip is very thankful for past fWhip accidentally gathering way too much of this stuff, but let's make 2 stacks of quartz bricks, grab ourselves some smooth quartz blocks, and we can make a bunch of slabs here too. And I will say, for all of the windows, well, I really want to be using copper grates and copper trap doors. Now, so that I don't fully hate myself, we're just gonna craft those down and make trapdoors from these base ones, and then I'm just gonna use the base. I'm just gonna use that. I'm not even gonna worry about aging them. So we have our wax copper grates, and I was thinking on top of those, we can just get a bunch of the wax exposed copper grates. As I think from a distance, these in the windows can kind of give almost that like mosaic-y vibe. I have absolutely no idea what the proper term for it is, but it's a window that I keep seeing in a lot of inspiration artwork that I keep pulling up. Okay, last stop here, I hope. I've been gathering stuff for like 3 hours. Let's pick up some greenery bits and bobs. Go for oak leaves, flowering azalea. Now, in some of the inspo stuff I've been seeing, there's been a bunch of like purple flowers on the roof, so I thought throwing some alliums in could be fun. And I do want to make rooftop gardens, so let's get some grass, and please tell me I don't have any ferns. Okay, we'll handle that later. Definitely glowberries and hanging roots. How I'm almost always nearly out of lily pads, I don't know. We'll get more of those as we're out in the world too. Probably makes sense for some of the plants out there in the desert to be dead, so dead bush. Yeah, that looks like a good start for our foliage, and we'll pick up those other things as we're going. I'm down in the mines right now as I've got pretty much everything I need, but I actually ran out of candles, and I want to use some of these for sure, and I've got plenty of honeycomb, but we need to make a quick trip out to the spider farm. I always kind of forget this thing exists, but it is pretty nice to have. Oh, there's tons of string in here. Lovely. And there's tons of candles. Right, don't have to AFK for now. Back to work. Okay, time to get all those things that I didn't have back at home. First up, well, actually, both of them are right here. I forgot there's a swamp. Ah, lily pads. Let's just stock up on a few of these. Question, is there any way at all to farm lily pads besides destroying a new swamp biome? Because this right here is not the most interesting game mechanic. Got the stack of lily pads, and now I need to, nope, that's just shears. Don't break them with a pork chop. I'm just gonna grab another stack of ferns here too. One more quick stop before we actually return all the way to the desert. We've got to head out into the ocean. A quick stop at our ocean monument. We can head on inside, see all the guardians falling down into the pit, and I've really got to fix this storage room. Holy cow. But I want to make a good amount of prismarine, as I think it's another block we can use for our mosaics. Oh, I kind of forgot that this isn't textured. Huh. We will get to that later. For now, I already have so many blocks. Oh, we have so much junk. All of these are full. That's a lot of boxes full of stuff. With all of our materials here ready to go, my first step was to take all of the dirt, packed mud, and some oak slabs to create the road going around the block. This here is one of my favorite little quirks to Minecraft, being able to take the mushroom block and reveal the hidden texture inside and getting that in return. Oh, it's such a cool block. It is a bit of a pain to do though. That is looking much better, and we got a tree. My plan for a new papyrus here is to make it feel almost like Madrid, where we have this grid of the main streets going around, and then that's going to take us in to smaller neighborhoods and places for people to actually live and carry out their day-to-day lives on the inside when they don't need to be moving around so much. That means we're going to have two totally different vibes throughout the city as we're going, and I'm really excited to be able to mess around with what those differences are going to bring. So starting off at the corner here, I want to build a multiple-story building out of primarily sandstone, working in a few windows and walls to help stop it from being so flat. And here is the base idea behind the style I want to go with for buildings in this city. I really love how this has come together, and it's going to be a big challenge for sure compared to what we've been doing over in Path, with a lot more blocky shapes and using a little bit extra depth to our textures and walls. And then of course the flat roofs, which actually are going to have a lot of gardens on top of them, because I think that could be a really fun idea. So we added some water in here, actually worked in a little bit of end stone, and then this would be the way to get inside all the way down to the sugarcane farm. Yep, that's definitely the purpose for that drop. Now I've decided this dirt way is gonna lead to the inner courtyard of the city block, but I want to continue along with here and create a cool archway. Now I have no idea what the actual term for this is, but in a lot of the inspiration that I've been looking for online, there's a lot of really unique shapes when it comes to like Middle Eastern architecture, especially in the archways. And I think I figured out something here using our brown stained glass panes to actually recreate that kind of effect by pulling the wall in there in the bottom. I'm not going to claim to know too much about the technicalities behind all of this, but it's a lot of really beautiful structures. And so if we bring that in together, we can kind of have that front way in there, but it's a little straight. And there's always seems to be this little like comes in and then goes out and rounds along the top. And if we do another pane right there, that'll connect it all in and kind of give that rounder top shape. And then this one down here helps to bring that archway in. Now I know up close you can see the glass pane, but once we get the actual like alleyway built in, and you can kind of get the idea if you just blend a little bit of that pane into the background, with something other than sky, I think it's gonna hide a lot more. Now to create that little bit of a stronger shadow here, we can bring it forward, and this only works when you're playing at a lower light level, like I'm down at 60% now. And then we can bring that all the way up here. And then I was thinking to reverse it against what we have up that side, we take our mud brick stairs and just bring them across. Still need the building on the far side, but that is a better idea of it with the shadow in there, and then also continuing the arch going throughout as we're gonna enter into this space. And I think that's gonna be really cool. Of course, to finish off the shaded alleyway, we have a building coming in right next to it using more of the mud brick and going for a stripe of blue terracotta. This helped the archway a lot, and I think the building looks pretty good itself. I'm really loving adding in these pops of color throughout with that, and then our smooth red sandstone on top, where currently there is no way to get up here without flying. And then that takes us up to the upper floor with a few little garden things, having our alliums and just some grass and everything growing around our fountain. But we can fix that access point with our tile floor added in down here. And to mention, this was a design I used for the Grand Library, and I think it's so fun. Being in the desert out here, it's probably a little toasty. So I want to bring in a few archways here and then cover this back walkway, as my goal is to create a bunch of really shady spots just for the residents to be able to get out of the heat. I find a big part of the cool factor for me when it comes to building is being able to actually imagine people living in the environment, so I think this can help with that. So something right here can work for down below, and you can see that shady part right in there, and then we have the glazed terracotta and a little jungle in there for another stripe. But speaking of jungle, I need to find somewhere in my storage room, where is it? Jungle trapdoors, as I want to also cover the awning up here, and I think we can just send some trapdoors all the way across. I'm in love with how boxy everything is. I normally try and smooth out a lot of the shapes, but I'm really loving the vibe here. Okay, so we now have a way to get from the house to this, but no way to get from this down to here. Baby steps. On the corner, I wanted to try out a lighter, washed out building, so we're going from sandstone to bone blocks and then some smooth quartz to access more slabs. Using those slabs, I decided to bring in some 1.5 block tall windows, which I actually really like the look of them. And our staircase does reach all the way up to the top. I did kind of forget to connect it in here though, but there is a door, so it would connect to the door that's over there. Just imagine there's like a floor in the building or something like that. I did also extend the tiles around here that we had in, as I want a second archway leading in. I'm trying out a lot of different build palettes in here to get a better idea of things throughout the city as we build it up. I really don't want this just to be sandstone on sandstone, so here we're going with a darker brown using a lot of spruce for this new archway. This definitely stands out right next to all of our whitewash building in there, but I think I like how it works out overall. I did recently fly back over here, and y'all know me, I love looking at things from a distance, and I think that's gonna work. I really like how that's looking. And we haven't even added in the life aspect here on the front, because we need a lot of like crates and market stalls and things, and we'll get to that soon. But there's been a skeleton down here. Nope, maybe he just despawned. But I don't want to regret not lighting this up later. And how is our sugarcane farm? Oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. Oh, I love it. Have I been here for way too many days? Yeah, that we could probably use a lot more sugarcane coming in. But for now, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. No, sorry, we're not open yet. Not open, still not looking for anybody. I was so focused on building homes for the people, I completely forgot. They need food to eat, so I gotta plant a field. After a quick trip down into the Wither Skelly farm to repair my elytra, because wow, that thing is getting low. Planting a new field out in the desert is fun, as everything needs to be along the river to access those life-giving waters, and we can experiment with new things like using the crimson roots here to look kind of like a saffron plant. Well, as close as we can get to those in Minecraft, but sometimes we need to use our imagination. Unlike here, you can subscribe to my channel so you never have to imagine a world where you might miss an upload. And click that like button while you're at it. Thank you. Looking really cool for a new field. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I really tried blending it in with the greenery around, and I love the almost natural look it has. But we've got a lot more buildings to be baking over here. Baking? I guess it is in the desert. We're kind of, yeah. No, we're not baking today. We're making buildings. Jumping around to the far side now, I want to create our third and final entrance as a little tiny alleyway that's going to stick underneath a building right here. And then we can take a few slabs just to bring it down to the dirt level and connects into here. Perfect. Now, since we're right up here against another sandstone building, I do want to still work in that sandstone, but I think we're going back to that bone block idea we used on the far corner. And say if we bring it up to be about this tall, and then just for a color difference, almost like it's another kind of colored tile in here, like we've been using with all of those different bits, we can bring in some of our copper. And this is gonna run down the entire distance. And we end with something a little like this, with a doorway that'll actually go into a room right over in there. And then along this back wall here, I was thinking we could create a really big window here that would look out into the courtyard for a little bit more privacy, I guess, and then top this with some sandstone stairs. Over on the first building, I used that quartz brick as like a top trim, and I thought we could take that idea into here as we move into like the upper floor as well. So we basically just like run that all the way across and it'll go around. Ideas in place for the new building. We can quickly finish off the blocky structure to close in the space. And you, my buddy, I have a very, very important job for you. Come on, over here, over this way. Yeah, we gotta, yep, I got a little market stall and I need a puppo to maintain it. Yeah. No, you're stuck. Why are you stuck? No, you're stuck in the scaffolding. Let's scoot you out of the, you don't need to be in the table. I guess you can be under the table. That'd be kind of cute. But I also added in this little bit down here and I love it. Just another little stand that'll be on the street. We got to be careful probably to leave the middle 3 or 4 blocks open. And that dude spawned in. No small drip leaf. He stays right there forever. Now for something that's gonna be a full experiment I kind of alluded to earlier. Going between our polished tuff and then into some sand and sandstone mixtures, we can create a really cool pattern that's gonna go on. I'm just worried it's gonna be a little noisy. So I'm gonna give it a shot, but I think what it's gonna end with is I really want your feedback in the comments to see if it's gonna be something that we should continue doing. And I do want it to be a tower, so I'm gonna start squeezing it in and maybe we can mix that up. And gosh, I wish we had smooth sandstone walls. But as we move upwards, this is gonna slowly get a little skinnier as it goes. And then to help kind of bulky it out just slightly with our walls, I want to bring in some of these glass panes on the corners. And that is gonna bring us up to here for this first flatter face. And yeah, this is the confusing part. Before we make any judgments though, let's get the tower in. Okay, no, forgot the door. Can't judge yet. Somewhere in this mess of chests, somewhere maybe. Over here. Yes, the door. Right there it goes. Oh, I forgot the front awning. No, sorry, still can't judge. Just got to throw this on real quick so when you're walking out, you're not just instantly into the sun. And now we can judge the shape and look of the building. I'm thinking it's one that's gonna be a little weird in game and when you're walking around, but for the skyline, I think it could be kind of cool. I don't really know though. Be nice, but help please. It's like over here at the village, when you're looking across the skyline, I kind of like seeing that in the distance. But when you're up close, it is a little funky, as we're definitely plucked by the palm tree. Okay, now you can see it in the distance, and that's pretty cool. To help hide the stripy building, I want to add in a mud brick structure with a big overhang on the courtyard side for more shade, and a third story up top with some garden space, and of course, new trees to fill in the open gaps. And I swear we're not just gonna be alternating everything as we go, but right here, we're gonna be doing another sandstone building coming in, maybe like, no cut sandstone. Like that. And then let's fill in this back gap just to be a different color with some of our oak. And then once we're over here, just for another way to add some more variety, let's bring this birch coming back to like there maybe. And then back up above this point and probably just across here. All right, this is gonna be a little off center, but I'm thinking we go 2 and 2 with the looms just for some extra color. Cover those with birch trap doors so they don't stand out too much. And then more of our little archways. Some buttons running across the top like we've been doing up here. And then let's just take some sandstone stairs. And I'm thinking this would be a good height. So it's slightly in between those two. But overall, yeah, I like that. It just needs a building behind it. Okay, for the one building behind the front facade that we made, I actually made 2 buildings, but the second's just a little guy. And I've decided here in the middle, I want to put a fountain. We'll get to that one soon as we've almost fully closed our way around. We've just got space for probably one more corner building in there. Currently, there's a little entrance into this guy right there. And then we have our staircase going up to another door into here, where on top of this one, we definitely need a better way to get up, but I'm a parkour professional, so we can jump all the way over here. Look at this nice little overhang. Oh, I love the canopy. And on top, we have another little place to stay in some shade, and then they've got a little garden going up here too. The backside, I almost like more on all of these. You can see that one's pretty flat. This one's got the little jut out, and I've got a lot of these stairs in here just as ways for air to move through, so no hot air gets really trapped inside the buildings. And then this one, again, the little guy, they just got like a little covered area here for like a workshop or storage something or another, or like a storefront. Now this one, I want to turn into the building where all of our sugarcane comes up, and this thing's been working like crazy. Look at all of that sugarcane in here, and whew, I am very happy about that. I think it's about time to throw this one in here together. Going for a more classic sandstone architecture, I'm really working with the shapes and overhangs on this one, and I looked at Assassin's Creed Mirage for some inspo here, and I'm really happy that I did. It also feels so incredibly cool to finally have the blue axolotl bazaar here actually attached to something else instead of just sitting out in the desert for no reason. No, we're just gonna nap. Nope, not gonna nap here. How we doing, boys? Where's Booger? Booger! Oh, there's Booger! If you didn't know, Booger was the first blue axolotl we ever got inside this world. And we definitely have space to bring the sandstone farm storage up here, probably through that corner, and some chests along the back. Now for the final element inside. I've laid down a little bit of prismarine and some frog lights in here as I want to build a long fountain just to bring in a little bit more of that water element, as I think it's really important to keep it very, very present in the city of New Papyrus. So we'll take a little bit of the sacred water of the blue axolotls and use that to fill in this entire space. Now let's grab some of our prismarine bricks, and I was thinking in here, I kind of want to make some small statues of sorts. They're gonna look pretty derpy, but that's okay. Gonna even it out like that, and maybe we just put another little wall on top, and then we do our bricks and fill in a bunch of lily pads around here to kind of bunch them up. And then our last element, I would like a little teeny tiny bit of seagrass. Yeah, that's looking a lot more natural in here. And oh my gosh, I just had a great idea. Where are my rockets? We put the tropical fish in the library. Of course there has to be a tropical fish in this fountain. And you are gonna do great. Welcome to your new home, buddy. Oh, it's so adorable. Moving beyond the fountain, I do want to fill in the green space along the harbor with our lush river edge idea we've done throughout the desert. So I decided to just kind of turn my brain off and place in the blocks until I was just happy with the result. While working on the lush front down here, I realized where my shulker mess has been. It's pretty empty along here, but I don't want to add anything too tall that'll really block the new buildings that we've created. Well, at least not yet. But I was thinking right down here, it's a little off. Well, off the beaten path, at least, away from our buildings. So maybe we can do a little market stall right here. And then for the top, I'm thinking we go with like oxidized cut copper slabs. Where I want to quickly replace this one here and throw in a hanging sign. Let's see if I can select this and we can copy it over to the other side. Then if I break that, yes, it's still hanging and we can put the slab back. It did kind of give away the super wow factor of what the market stall is going to be, but that's okay. We'll just make it glow. Yay, now it's all better. And we can do some chiseled bookshelves here in the front, mix in a bookshelf and get that. And then off of this guy, that's going to be our scrolls. And then to hide the side of the bamboo, we can just add in a few spruce trapdoors. I grabbed a few of the pots that we've just had sitting around, and scrape is an axe. I guess that's kind of okay. And what are you? Yeah, we'll do the guster. That could be a good one to add around New Papyrus. I feel like that guy kind of fits in. A little flower on top of the axe. Yeah, And then I do really love doing this on top of the pots, and we're gonna kind of hide that guster so that and that aren't really exact clones. A little light here to keep it safe, and I like that. But maybe in this back corner here, there's like some extra supplies that are just ready to go out once some of the books get sold. And I realized, do I have any extra bookshelves? I've got a few, so let's actually put some books in. Perfect, a new stall. Oh, I love it. Now moving down the road, let's fix up the sugarcane storage building as well. It's not currently the easiest to collect all of it. And I do have a slight issue for our storage system. I want to bring the sugarcane up right here. Unfortunately, the redstone is right there, and water and redstone, they don't really mix. So instead, I'm gonna do something a little goofy, probably, of we're just gonna bend this around, put some blue ice right there with a piece of scaffolding so it can slide on in, and then we need to take ourselves, I guess, across here. We can just go directly off the chest line here and send the glass elevator system moving up. Water source is gonna go in here and it flows perfectly to right there. Great. Let's just stop it here. Do that. Put our blue ice. No, that's a torch. Our blue ice. More scaffolding. And that should work to move the items into the elevator. Now, down at the bottom, I want a dropper that's going to be looking this direction, where we're going to put our soul sand right down here. So that shoots up as well. And then just so we can see the entire tube, we'll just add in our glass right there, and we'll turn that into water sources in a sec. Comparator looks at that dude. And then right behind this, we're just going to be throwing in a sticky piston with our 2 observers. And so anytime, say that we just put a piece of sand in there, that'll get dispensed in. Perfect. Then we just need the hoppers, but we'll add that at the end, as I don't want to be losing any of it. Look at me doing fWhip stone. Oh, we're so good. With that done, let's build a floor here out of our mangrove planks with some muddy roots for a carpet in the middle that we can actually use to base off where our chests are going to line out. And I'm thinking we go 5 double chests long and maybe 4 tall. That'll be a lot of sugarcane, and I doubt it's ever gonna fill up. Then we just run all of our hoppers here along the back. Then to hide all of the mess behind, let's just extend some of these guys coming up with our strip logs on the corner. And I always really enjoy being able to see the items coming up the little elevator that we create, so we can just leave that open with our glass in here. And you know, on this, I think yeah, we got some planks. We can just fill that out to flatten the wall. Little dark oak in right there, and then ooh, I forgot to fill that in. Can I sneak yes, oak plank can go right in there, and then that will flow all the way down. Perfect. We just need to get some kelp in there, and that'll be all fixed. Then for the rest of the roof, because currently we have dirt from the floor above, let's take some spruce slabs going down, and then our trapdoor in between so it's not completely flat. Things are starting to look pretty good in here, but they are a little dark. So I put some candles over here, and then I was thinking in this spot we can do a desk, and I wanted a lectern to look like whoever is working in the bookstore is reading a book probably. And then we can do some trapdoors to kind of blend that, and then that can be their little stall or like a checkout stand. Then we can do that, get some more fire and light in here. And then I've got these guys, which I want to do a little bit of green grassy bits, and then a small reading corner over here with a table and chair. Quick light level check, and we are actually all set. It looks like everything's safe. Now our last step here is I should be able to, ooh, that's gonna flood everything. No, it won't. The slab's there. Okay, perfect. Can I get to fly mode? And yes, we can. Okay, we can just place all of the kelp in. There we go. The bubble elevator should be working. Before I send all of my sugarcane off to just disappear, let's just throw some of that in. It's going up, over, and up. And so am I. Looks like it's headed all the way to the top, and we are collecting kelp and sugarcane. Oh, that's very, very nice. One last hopper line in, and we shall be all set. The clicking isn't low enough to where we're not hearing it. Oh, bummer. I was hoping we wouldn't hear that at all. That is looking really nice in here now. There we have it. The first city block in New Papyrus is now complete, and I am so in love with how this has come together, and I'm really excited to continue developing this style further as we expand the city. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I am really looking for more ideas on this project, so anything you can share will be super helpful as well. Outside of that, I am always looking for new project ideas and I'm kind of getting the itch to start something new, so let me know what you got on that front as well. With that, click the like button, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.